Hello and welcome back. We are on the last week of January. It's kind of flown by. I've got a few cases from last week to update you on. I want to start off by telling you the whole purpose of this little series, this sit down, is to be as transparent as possible. We get comments sometimes that, I wish it were more, or I wish it were less, or whatever. I am just trying to tell you exactly what went on in court that week. So we are going to go through one of several different types of pleas that took place. The first one was a Little River man. His name is Colby Kopaz. He was set for the trial roster, and he pled guilty. He pled guilty to murder. He killed his mom, and he received a sentence of 30 years. Colby Kopaz is 31. That 30-year sentence will be day for day. He will be 61 years old when he gets out. That's a sentencing structure thing. For murder, it's day for day. He pled to that, and of course, when we go into court, everybody is asking from the defense, can he plead to this or can he plead to that? He pled to the highest thing possible. The case was very good against him, and the murder was, obviously against his mom. We thought we could prove it. We didn't back off of anything, and we said, you got to plead to murder. He pled to murder, and he got 30 years. The next case that I'll talk to you about is a young man. He's not young. His name is Grimes Radcliffe. He's 40 years old, from Hamlet, North Carolina. He came down here on a vacation with the child's mother. When police and paramedics were called by the mother, the child was unresponsive. When the police and paramedics got there, Radcliffe was doing CPR on the child. He was charged with homicide by child abuse. He pled guilty to inflicting great bodily injury on a child, lesser included. It's still a most serious offense. He received, and that was a straight up plea, he received 150 months in prison. That is the way the judge characterized it, but it is basically 12 and a half years. He'll have to serve 85% of that before he's eligible for parole. That was a situation where he pled straight up to a lesser charge. One of the tricks in that case is that it was obviously when two people are there and one child is killed, the courts have made it where you can't try the two of them together. Obviously, if you happen to try one, that person is going to be pointing at the person that's not there. And then when you try the other one, he or she's going to be pointing back at this other one. So the 12 and a half years, obviously, none of it makes anything right, but that is one way that cases get pled down. That one was also on a trial roster, so when it pled. Now finally, and this is a case that we got quite a few comments about, so it'll give us a chance to educate on this situation. But this guy, Justin Lindsay, 23 years old, from Lumberton, North Carolina, was down here at on the Grand Strand, and he hit our victim in this case was on a motorcycle. When he hit the motorcycle, he left the scene and took off. The victim in the case died as a result of the crash. Lindsay was later captured and said he thought he hit a deer. We held to our guns on that. We told him, you must plead as you're charged, without any recommendations whatsoever. And he pled straight up. He didn't have any sort of a record, but when he pled straight up, the judge gave him 15 months. So a lot of people commented, I think, that it should have been more time than 15 months. Obviously, he was looking at from mandatory minimum of 1 year to 25 years. And I just want to reiterate, I'm not, the whole reason for our series is to try to educate and to be absolutely transparent in everything that we do. So when we recommend a sentence, we will tell you we recommended that sentence. In this case, we would have said the judge followed the recommendation and gave him 15 months. That didn't happen. We said, Judge, he is looking at a minimum of 1 year. He's looking at a maximum of 25 years. You have full discretion to plead anywhere along that way. And we put in the facts, and then it's crazy how this system works. But people that are watching, prosecutors, public defenders, nobody gets to lay down a sentence but the judge. So we can restrict that a little bit. We can negotiate a sentence. We could say, Judge, you take it or leave it. This is going to be, we work with, and that's usually on cases that aren't good, where we sit down with the defense attorney and we say, hey, I'm going to have a lot of hard problems convicting this person. The defense attorney says, yeah, but I don't want to take the risk. Can we negotiate a sentence? And that's like a contract where you say, I know going into it that you're going to get 3 years or 4 years. Your Honor, this is a negotiated sentence. It's 3 years. Take it or leave it. We've agreed, they've agreed. That's a negotiated sentence. But when it's a straight up plea, that means, Judge, this is murder. You can give him 30 years, you can give him life imprisonment. Judge, this is breaking into a car. You can give him 0 years or you can give him 5 years. Here's what he did. All right? So, this is, I just want everybody to be on the same page. If we recommend something, the judge can take that recommendation, or he can say, I want to give higher or I want to give lower. If we plead it straight up, all we do is tell the judge the range and the facts. And if we negotiate it, we say, Judge, this is negotiated. You can take it or leave it. That's the 3 type of pleas that come before a judge. When we tell you we negotiate it, you can say, Jimmy, I don't like that. I find you're responsible for it. I'm mad at you. When we plead it straight up, there ain't no need to get mad at us. That is a straight up plea. When we plead it recommendation, it's kind of a shared thing. The judge usually takes the recommendation. Negotiated, recommendation, and straight up. That's the 3 different pleas. Have a great week, and we'll see you again next week.